let's check in on how the first month of the season has gone so far, namely biggest surprises and biggest disappointments. There was a recent poll of actually anonymous executives around the MLB on MLB.com asking them their biggest surprises and their biggest disappointments on the season, whether that's players, teams, or what have you. And so I wanted to go through theirs and then give you some of mine as we go through. Because I'll be honest, this doesn't happen often. Sometimes I make predictions. I do a little prediction show at the beginning of the year. And some of these things have, well, come to fruition. But again, it's a 6-month long season. 1 month is nothing, but it's something. It's not nothing, but it's not very much. Okay, anyway. Biggest surprise team among executives around the league. The biggest surprise teams, there was 2 big ones. One kind of ran away with it, but I included both of them. And those would be the San Francisco Giants and their counterparts across the bay, but up north a little bit farther, the Sacramento A's. Amongst executives, they were surprised by how good these 2 teams have been at the outset of the season. And I will say, I agree in a lot of ways. Though, the A's being better doesn't actually surprise me that much, considering they spent a little bit of money in the offseason. They went and got more of a front-of-the-rotation guy in Luis Severino. Getting Jeffrey Springs was big. I thought they got some guys with some experience to build around their core, and then their entire core was back. Shea Langeliers, J.J. Bleday, Jacob Wilson, Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker. Like, these guys have been there, and they've been getting better every year. So them getting better again this year and being positive 500, above 500 team is not surprising. Actually, they're 19-16, even after that devastating loss they had in Miami the other day. Though they have a negative 22 run differential, it's not super surprising. On the other hand, we have the San Francisco Giants, 21-13, technically in 3rd place in the NL West, but I'd say if you're in 4th or higher, you're doing pretty good in that division. And they have a plus 29 run differential. So, you know, the executives are excited or surprised by those 2 teams. But my 2 teams that I was most surprised by are the Giants and the Cubs. So the Cubs, that we just talked about the Giants. I mean, I thought they had potential to be as good as they are, right? I didn't think it would happen right away. I didn't think that Wilmer Flores was going to come and do what he's doing. But I do anticipate them leveling out a little bit. I just don't know how much that will be. But on the other side, the Cubs, I knew the Cubs were going to be better this year. I just didn't know if PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, was going to take another step forward with the bat, and I didn't know how Kyle Tucker was going to fit into their lineup, and if he was going to make a big of a difference being an upgrade from Cody Bellinger. But I think that the jury has come back with their verdict on that one, and yeah, they're pretty dang good. Though they lost Justin Steele, they've been navigating it with some of the young guys. The Brown's been throwing pretty well. It's fun to see. I don't know. I think we need the Cubs to come around and be a competitive team more often, I think. And it's good to see some of their stuff come to fruition. All right. Biggest disappointments team-wise, though. Let's talk about that a little bit. Who are the biggest disappointments so far in the season? Pretty much unanimously across the board, executives were like the Orioles. What the frickin' heck has happened to the Orioles? I came into the season this year really underwhelmed by their offseason. I do not like, I just don't, I think it's pretty clear here. I'm not a huge fan of just people who own baseball teams in general. I think that having that much money just inherently makes you kind of insufferable sometimes. And the only thing we've heard from Rubenstein, their new owner, after taking over for the Angeloses, is that we need a salary cap because he's very clearly only worried about dialing in that investment, dialing in that return on investment. And dude, you've been here for 10 minutes. I just want to hear you talk about baseball as if you like it or that has anything to do with your decision to own one. And so that rubbed me the wrong way. And then they were just like, hey, where's some budget guys we can add to this very cheap and good core. And now that the cheap and good core has been decimated by injuries and they didn't get any frontline pitching and they're not hitting very well, and they're bad. They went from really good to bad with just a couple things going not their way, and that's the problem. You want to build depth. You want to shore up your ability to fill in gaps when you need to wait for guys to come back. They didn't do that, so that didn't surprise me one bit. And believe it or not, I did this. My team that I'm disappointed in is also the Orioles. Yes, I know you didn't really see it swap, but it did. Okay, I put that in twice. I'm pissed off about it too. So, am I surprised? Not really. I am surprised about how hard Charlie Morton has struggled at the gate, but I don't anticipate him being this bad this year. But he's throwing out of the pen now. I mean, let's see what happens when they get some of their guys back. When they get Kittredge back to help in the back of the bullpen. Felix Bautista starting to look better. They're going to get going a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know what the plan is past that. Like, are we hoping Grayson Rodriguez is a game one ace? I don't know if he is. He's good, but I just don't know how far away we are from that type of guy. Is he a 2 or 3? Absolutely. Are we hoping Bradish is our ace moving forward? You know what I mean? Like, we need that game. You need a closer or a stopper in the bullpen. You need a game one starting pitcher, and you need 2 position players locked in to be your core in the lineup. That's what you need. That's what every team needs. You can water it down to that. And they just didn't do they don't have a number 1 pitcher. They do have a closer, and they have Gunnar and Adley. So, like, they just need a number 1 starting pitcher. But they didn't do it. They had all the opportunity. They should have went all in on getting Crochet, but they didn't. So, I'm out. I'm out on that. Disappointing so far. The Orioles are. But what about players? Surprise players. Let's talk a little bit about what the executives said. Executives, real high on Young-Hoo Lee. He's batting .312 with 3 homers, and they've been big homers, and 19 RBIs for an .869 OPS. He's also extremely fast and a very good outfielder. So he's been doing his job even better than they could have anticipated. Sometimes with Korean players, especially because we didn't get to see much of him last year. Sometimes with Korean players, they struggle with the pitching in the major leagues, just because the quality is a little bit better, the velocity is much better, and the off-speed pitches are better. So you're running into really good pitching more often. So sometimes there's a hang-up there because I'd say for the 2 Korea and Japanese leagues versus major leagues, Japan is way closer to the major leagues than Korea is. So sometimes that happens. So far, so good, though. He's looked really good. But for me, the one I'm excited for, and he is an ex-teammate of mine, and he had a really tough year last year after getting traded over to my hometown team, and that is Jorge Polanco. Jorge Polanco is off to a scorching start. As of, this was 4 p.m. yesterday, he's hitting .395 with 9 home runs, 25 RBIs, and a staggering 1.250 OPS. Yo. That's nuts. The only person who has better numbers than that is Aaron Judge, because I don't know. I think he's the son of Zeus, and I was about to read off the plot to Hercules, but then I realized that probably would land flat, so I'm going to stop. He's just really good. So Jorge Polanco, though, has been a very bright light for this Mariners team, which is good offensively. Another surprise for me. I was going to wait to get to this, but the potent, I'm going to throw this right in because Polanco makes sense. The potent Mariners offense, they're 6th in the league in runs scored, I believe, and they are leading the division by kind of a lot in runs scored. Nobody anticipated that, myself included. I was down on them like I was down with the Orioles, and it's funny that they both kind of gone in different directions. And also, Cal Raleigh is your home run. I don't know if Cal Raleigh is still the home run leader, but he was after the game on Friday. So he's a catcher. That's a good sign. And Julio hasn't even got going yet. So let's see how this goes. I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited for Jorge and his bounce back. He got his, I believe it was calf. Was it his calf cleaned up in the offseason? Was it surgery? And he looks way better. Disappointment players, though, across the league. According to the executives that were asked, Willy Adames, slow start for a team that is really nice to see. The guy they paid all the money in the offseason not so much. Adames is hitting 227 with 4 home runs, 17 RBIs good for a 667 OPS. And he's struggling to find consistency at the plate. And I know I said a bold take I had going into the season was Willy Adames was going to underperform his paycheck. I think that Willie's contract is just a byproduct of what shortstops get signed for. Even, he never was he was always a very good player, one of the better players on the other team, but he was never the best player on the team he was on when I was playing against him. I never a guy I worried about too much. He did get me a couple times. Maybe that's why. But for some reason I was he's a rock solid player. I'd love to have him, but I don't know if he's a star. And that's where that came from. And so far, this is kind of why. He's a little bit streaky, but I think he's going to come back. He's a pro, and he's going to end the year with a strong performance. But, if we're looking for him to be the 3-hitter that takes over games, it's just not the type of guy he is. So I agree with that one, but my big disappointment so far was Devin Williams, because I thought the Yankees really needed him to come in and be prototypical Devin Williams. So far, he's got 4 saves with an 8.18 ERA, 11 strikeouts, and a 1.82 WHIP. Strikeouts are way down, walks are way up. We're gonna talk about fixing him later in the hour in our Going Deep segment. But let's just say thank God for Luke Weaver and his ability to fill in that gap. A guy who did it all year last year, and now he's doing it for them this year. So at least they had another option, because things like this can get really messy when you look around and no one in the bullpen. Everyone's struggling, right? But they've had Leiter Jr. throw pretty well. Fernando Cruz has been well. A lot of funky splitters coming out of that bullpen. A lot of funky splitters. So I like what the Yankees are doing with their bullpen, honestly. It's interesting. It's fun to watch. As a pitcher myself, it's a good time. So a couple other surprises that I just wanted to touch on. Already got into the Mariners. I did not anticipate the Rockies being actually worse than the White Sox. There was a point in time where the Rockies were on pace for 21 wins on the year. So they have played better recently, but let's pay attention to them because, they're better. They're just way better than that. Maybe not the pitching, but the batting is supposed to be, and they've been abysmal so far this year. And then the Twins started off slow. I didn't anticipate that. If you told me everyone in the lineup got hurt at the same time, I would believed you, but that really hasn't. They've lost a few people here and there and guys missing time, but it hasn't been only because of that. But I also think that they're just too good to be this bad for very long. So, sorry, Shay. Shay's in the chat. I'm sorry, Shay. Huge Twins fan, but it is what it is, It is what it is. But hey, like I said, 1 month down, 5 more to go. Enjoy that, guys. How those bodies feel. Mine feels pretty fat. I'm fat. I'm feeling pretty fat. All right, let's get into some news, because there was quite a bit of news this week. Oops, I already put this away. Okay, quite a bit of news this week. Some really interesting ones, so let's fire right through it. First up, Kansas City Royals set a franchise record with 7 home runs against the, hate to see it, Orioles. Those 7 home runs take their total on the year to 25, because they only had 18 total in 34 games going in. This is a record. The Orioles also hit 4 home runs. So there's a total of 11 home runs in the game, 10 of which were solo shots, which is another major league record. We're seeing so many major league records like this happen, like number of homers in a game. I thought the balls weren't due. Jamin, thank you for 82 months. I see you. Thank you so much. So good for them. Guys who homered were Jonathan India, Michael Garcia hit 2 homers, Luke Maile, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, the Pasquatch, and Michael Massey all hit balls over the fence in Camden to propel them to an 11-6 W. Chandler Simpson's speed leads the Rays over the Yankees in a 7-5 win. This dude can fly. He literally grounded out to shortstop and just beat it straight up. Just a normal routine ground ball, handled cleanly, quickly, got rid of quickly, and he beat it. The guy he does not even care about swinging the bat hard or anything. He's just like, just get it in between these lines and then you'll be safe. He literally single-handedly made this game happen. He scored from second on an infield single by Yandy Diaz early in the game, in the fourth inning, capping a three-run fourth, and then stole another base later in the game and then scored another run. So Chandler Simpson, it's fun to watch. Getting shades of Billy Hamilton. I don't know if you guys are seeing that too. The Braves played much better as of lately. And they finally won their first game this year against the Dodgers, breaking an 0-for-5 streak and also breaking the Dodgers' 7-game winning streak. Surprise! Dodgers are in the first in the NL West on a 7-game streak. Who would have thought it? Austin Riley hit 2 home runs. He's my dark horse. He was my dark horse for an MVP for the second year in a row, and it started slow. Hopefully this keeps going. Even though Miguel Rojas came off the bench, hit a home run in the 7th, didn't matter. The Braves take down the Dodgers 4-3. Good to see that for them. Another news, Lance McCullers is back after 915 days on the shelf. That is 2.5 years. He got to put on an Astros jersey and pitch as a starting pitcher in the major leagues once again. He got to go out there against Chicago White Sox. He ended up throwing 3 2/3 scoreless innings. They were not the cleanest things I'd ever seen, but that is to be expected when it's been that long since it's been on a big league mound. Frankly, dude, it's almost been 3 seasons. Like, I've been gone. I've been out of baseball for a season and a quarter, and I can't remember at all what it was like. I don't have any memory, so I can only imagine what it was like for him. I missed a lot of time at times in my career too, and I know it drove me nuts, but I can't imagine what almost 3 years feels like. So congratulations to him. They ended up losing because, the Astros ended up dropping the game 5-4 after an hour and a half rain delay. But McCullers, he got the job done. He battled. He threw some really nice pitches. That curveball is still there. The sinker's good. He was like 92, 93. Had some good zip on stuff. He looked pretty sharp in terms of stuff. The command's going to come later, but he looked good. And that could be a huge deal for the Astros moving forward. The Rangers, also in the AL West, decide to fire their offensive coordinator, Donnie Ecker. This is offensive coordinator. I don't know if that's what they call that. I believe that's football, hitting coach, whatever you want to call it. But Donnie is out in Dallas. He was at the conclusion of Sunday's game. So here's the statistics of the team, just so you guys can get an idea of how he's being evaluated. Texas was 25th in weighted runs created plus at 85, 25th in slugging, 26th in batting average, 28th in on-base percentage, 29th in runs, and 29th in walk rate. That's like the last year's Mariners. So he was a holdover from Woodward's tenure before Bruce Bochy took over. Then they won the World Series, but last year they were pretty bad, pretty anemic as well, where they were bottom 10 in pretty much all the same categories all year last year as well. So he got a long leash, unfortunately. They never got back. Doesn't help that Corey Seager is hurt so much, and Marcus Semien has not done what he did in 2023 much at all since. But that said, they're going to go in a different direction. In a little bit more sad news, we had Tristan Cassis go down with a ruptured patella tendon. Is that what it's called? Ruptured tendon in his knee. For those of you who don't know what your patella tendon is, or if you've ever had shin splints, it's tendonitis in that tendon. Basically, your Achilles goes down the back of your leg up into your calf. Your patella tendon goes back down your front leg and connects to your knee. So if you're pushing off with your toes, you're using your Achilles. If you're kicking, you're using your patella tendon. So he had a full rupture. Not pretty. Guys miss a lot of time too. So thoughts are out in him and his family, and I know he loves baseball. I saw the Boston documentary, and that guy loves baseball. So I hate to see it. I'm really excited about the Red Sox this year, so losing him. He had started slow. It's just wanted to start get going, and when you have something like this happen, it stinks, man. It stinks. In other injury news, Corbin Burns is going to miss a start with shoulder inflammation, but don't worry, this is normal. The older you get, the more you start to build in these little short stints, especially early or mid-year, so you can get a little bit of a blow if your shoulder's not feeling great. You could pitch, but you're like, I'm thinking about it, now I just want to give myself some rest. There might be an off day in there where they can push it or manipulate it a little bit so he only misses one start because you need 10 days. Actually, I believe he needs 15 days, so he might miss. But it might be retroactive. Anyway, you can get creative with it, moving your rotation around so a guy only misses one. So don't worry, Diamondbacks fans. I know you guys are out there and worried about it, but don't be. Don't be. He's going to be okay. Everything's going to work out, and they still have Zach Gallen, who looked much better last start, Merrill Kelly, and Eduardo Rodriguez, who's punching out the world, which makes no sense to me. So don't worry your little heads. The Diamondbacks are going to be right there at the end. Mark my words. It's a good team. And that is it for the news.